my god, not necessary.
Season 2! Let's get it. Dude, we're so into this. Season 2, and you can finally see us. They can see us.
Oh, yeah.
Hey!
I almost forgot about that one.
Dude, I'm so excited. Holy crap. You have no idea. Is this recording?
Is it recording?
Yes, it's recording. We're good. We're
Hello.
good. I'm so excited for season 2 right now, Cass.
I'm pretty pumped too.
No, you're not. You're not as pumped as I am.
No, I'm just because I'm tired.
And you're not pumped.
No, I'm tired. Like I'm emotionally, like my head hurts.
I don't think you're actually pumped, though.
No, I'm actually pumped. Woo!
Woo!
Yay!
As you can see, we got our own mugs.
Of course, you had to throw that in there.
Twintalk.store. Purchase your own.
That's not real.
It's not real. We don't sell these. Although, if you come on the show, we have an extra. So you can drink from it yourself. We obviously wash them after every guest. Or
Yeah.
we will. We haven't used it yet. It hasn't been used. In fact, this is the first time I actually took a sip from it.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, it really improved the taste of my water, my beverage.
Did
my
it now?
beverage.
Okay.
It did. No, it did.
Oh.
Cass,
Yes.
I just want to let you know.
Mm-hmm.
This is season 2.
I'm aware.
we're finally back
Uh-huh.
after like a month. It's been a month.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Uh-huh.
In fact, no, okay, it's March 3rd.
Yep.
But it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
It has been a hot while. And we're back. So happy to be back. Now, Cass, today, what are we talking about?
You want to talk about politics again?
Well, what do you want to talk about, Cass?
I don't know.
So
I
if you-
guess that.
Well, I mean, if you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to talk about it.
No, you're gonna.
I could
That's your
talk-
passive aggressive way of saying we're gonna talk about it.
Well, if you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to talk about
No,
it.
no.
Oh,
Let's
here,
continue.
hold on. Tighten that. 'Cause it's all-
Tighten it.
there's that one. Yep.
It's all the way.
Was it just drooping?
No, I moved it.
Oh, don't do that. That's what happened. That's how it breaks.
I didn't know that.
That's how you break expensive things, Cass. Ugh.
Oh my god, you can hear that.
Yeah, because you're tapping the microphone.
I
part
thought
of the
this
mic-
was the microphone.
Yes, but this is also part of the body.
You learn new things every day.
Yeah, I know, right? Wow. So happy. It's like this part is more of like a shock mount, like when you hit a table. See how not all that sound travels through because you hit the shock mount. But anyways, we're getting off topic.
Darn.
So, throwback to when I said I'm independent but slightly democratic leaning.
Liberal.
That's just out the window. I'm still independent, but I'm truly independent.
Interesting.
So, like, I do have some things that I side with on the Republican side, but then there's also some things I side with on the Democratic side.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, he before talking, he was like, "Oh my gosh, my views have changed."
they have changed slightly.
Ugh.
They're not as changed as you would think they would be when you hear they've changed. Like, I haven't flipped sides. Because when you're independent, you can't really flip sides. I'm still independent, in case you're wondering. But I have become more educated about certain topics.
Okay.
Educated meaning more facts.
I'm aware what
that I've looked
educated
at.
means.
Okay, no, I just want to make sure, because educated could be like, I've looked into it more, and that could be like hearing more stories, but stories are really just anecdotal. They aren't really factual.
They have messages. They have facts within them.
Sure, but a story generally is one experience, and a fact is like a stat on a certain
Let's
topic.
just say you've gotten more information on the subjects.
Yes, I am more educated on the subject. Well, fine. We don't have to say that. I can just say.
No, you're just like, look at me, I'm so educated.
Well, yeah, I've spent a whole lot of time
Oh.
looking into this stuff. So, what do you want to start with?
I don't know, man. What? Why are you doing that?
I'm just. I don't know. They do this
You
in some movie.
clearly want to start something. So.
No, I don't want to start anything.
Well, just like,
Well, okay, so
what
hold
do
on.
you want to talk about?
So we're gonna disagree, but that's okay because we still love each other. The show is still gonna exist. We're not gonna walk out of this and I'm gonna have, half of my head gone and my eyes are ripped out. Like that's not
What?
We're not gonna fight about this. We're gonna verbally. I'm not gonna like hurl insults. I think she will, but I'm not going to.
Whoa!
Well, you do hurl insults.
I do not.
You do.
No, I don't.
You do.
When was the last time I insulted you? Boom, that's right.
Well,
'Cause I don't.
she's gonna get very heated.
That doesn't mean I insult people.
You might lose your cool.
I won't.
You will.
No, I won't.
What do you want to start with?
What do you want to start with, Ryan?
Do you want to start with the one that is like the most polarizing?
You gotta be a little more specific on that.
Abortion.
One. Yeah, fight me.
Oh gosh. Fight me, loser.
No. Please explain your views.
Please explain. Okay, so before I put my claim out there, or my view, not claim.
Mm-hmm.
What type of pizza do you want?
Oh my
Do you
gosh.
know me? Sausage? What do you
Can you
want?
say buffalo for me?
Buffalo.
Hold on, where are we getting the pizza from?
It depends.
Yeah, Domino's sucks at Buffalo. Don't mind us.
Sorry, that's awkward.
We can edit that.
No,
out.
we won't.
No.
That's untrue, and it'll look weird in video format. So
Oh my god, I can hear. That's so cool.
Themis. Okay, that's a good place. So yeah,
Oh, nice. Yeah, Buffalo. It's open?
I know, right? It's finally
Finally?
open. Okay.
Mm.
What was I saying? I was gonna say, before I state my opinion, I just want to let you know. Okay, they're like they're eating there.
What?
I know, right? So we could have met them, but whatever.
That's
we're not
so
cool enough.
rude.
But
I want pizza.
I always will err on the side of choice, but in the circumstances of abortion, I think it is absolutely shameful that some people have abortions where they could have avoided it. Do you agree?
Explain yourself in
So,
more
like,
detail.
I think abortion shouldn't be allowed unless, or it should be. I don't want to say it's not allowed because then I'm telling people what to do.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's before I go into that,
Mm-hmm.
I think abortion should be legal if you've been raped, obviously, or if it is physically impairing you or mentally impairing you. So, like, if the mother is in physical danger. Or,
What about the fetus?
What do you mean?
Like, what if the fetus is in danger? Like, it would be born without, like, a heart or something. Would you be like, no, still go through with it?
Well, if it's born without a heart, it's going to die instantly.
Yeah, so would you say that's okay to have an abortion?
That's a very extreme example.
Oh, yeah, okay. So say if, like,
it's
it was going to be born without
with some genetic disease,
yeah,
like
something that would harm them. Well, not harm them, but, like...
I was going to say just ADHD, like some disorder.
well, then,
Like sickle cell anemia, perfect example. That would harm them. They could totally live, but they'll be at a disadvantage. They'll have to get some medical treatment, and they'll probably have to be on drugs for the rest of their lives. But
so what about in that situation? What would you say?
I would say you can still have the child. If the
Yeah, but
child's going to die at birth,
Yeah,
then
but
maybe you could make the argument that it would be okay to have an abortion. But if it's going to die at birth, at least you have a chance of keeping it alive.
Yeah, but
Wouldn't
would
you
you
want to keep the child alive?
yeah, but would you say that they should have the baby?
It's not that they should have the baby, it's that you just can't kill the baby.
That's what an abortion is, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying they shouldn't have an abortion if the baby was going to come to harm?
If the
when it was
baby is
born?
going to die at birth, then maybe you can make the argument that you could have an abortion.
Maybe.
If it's going to be, yeah.
So you're gonna just let the mother go through 9 months of like pregnancy and then just have her give
Well,
birth
at
to a
least
baby that
there's still-
everyone knows is gonna
there's-
die?
Well, nothing's guaranteed, Cass.
If the baby's gonna be born without a heart,
Cass,
you can
you
kind
can't
of
be born
assume.
without a heart.
I'm just saying it's a possibility.
I don't think it's even
Some
possible.
sort of organ. I don't know. I'm
That
not
would just be-
scientific.
In fact, the fetus would die if it didn't have a heart. It wouldn't even make it to childbirth. You wouldn't make it through the first trimester. You wouldn't even make it through the first month. The heart forms after like 4 weeks or something.
But I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is that if the baby were to have like some sort of problems or like some sort of like health problem, you would say no, have the baby.
Well, you could. I'm gonna go back to sickle cell anemia. I'd say still have the child because the child's not gonna die at childbirth.
Yeah, but would you say that no one can?
That's not an excuse. Just because your child's gonna be born with sickle cell anemia.
You say excuse, but I think you mean reason.
Sorry. Yeah, sure. That's not a reason to have an abortion. Unless you were raped, or unless you were in physical danger.
So you as a
In which case,
man,
I on the other
so
side.
you as a man are drawing the line for reasons you can have an
Hold
abortion.
on.
I'm just saying what you're saying
Me as
to
a
me.
man?
Yes.
What is me being a man?
No
have to do
uterus,
with
no
this
opinion.
argument? What?
Women should have the choice. They have the right to choose whether or not to have an abortion.
Me being a man doesn't change the fact that I have an opinion on the situation.
Yeah, but you're saying you should not have an abortion unless you were like raped. That's what you just said to me. You said should.
Unless you are raped, or unless your life as a mother is going to be physically in danger.
What about the fetus?
I don't know, because then you're getting into the nitpicky. If the child is going to be born with sickle cell anemia,
I'm not entirely sure what that means.
Do you know what sickle cell anemia is?
No.
All right, so sickle cell anemia is when the blood, there's a mutation in the I think it's heme is the gene. No, heme is the iron.
Can you just give the Spark Notes version?
Your blood cells are shaped like a sickle. It's
Oh, wait, I think I knew that.
C.
It's like a firm instead of
and
a firm.
and it's a mutation on the hemoglobin. The hemoglobin doesn't have the same structure as it normally would. It's more of like a elongated shape, which is very inefficient for oxygen transport. So like usually patients with sickle cell anemia have trouble breathing. They need to be put on, I think, a respirator. They usually need drugs. I think you can just take medicine and be fine. But that would just be for the rest of your life. I think you might be able to get blood transfusions, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Don't quote me on that. And even then, blood dies after like 100 days, and that's what your bone marrow is for. But basically, it's not a life-threatening medical condition. You can work around it.
But you can argue that their quality of life will be impaired.
Well, yeah. But they're still going to be alive. If your baby's still going to be alive, why would you want to take
But
its
do you
life?
think women should have the choice to have an abortion based on the health of their future baby?
If the baby is going to
It's
be...
a yes or no question.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Do you believe that they can choose to have an abortion based on the future, the health of their baby?
No, unless the child is going to die shortly after birth. And I don't even know if that's like something you could know when you're at the state of having an abortion. That's something you would know when the baby's about to be born, I think, or near the end of the third trimester. I don't think we disagree on a lot of it. I think do you agree that it's horrible that people have abortions where they could have just had protected sex?
Depends on the situation.
What do you mean the situation?
Well, if they were aware that they were having unprotected sex or not.
How were you unaware? You could go down to CVS and buy a pack of 50 condoms for like $10. It's not hard to have protected sex.
I know.
It's so incredibly easy.
Aware.
So I think it's foolish if you are going to have unprotected sex and then realize, oh, I don't want this baby anymore.
But if you have the intention of having a child, then yeah, I think it's foolish to have an abortion. But they still have the right to choose.
No. Well, yeah.
I personally disagree with people who use abortion as a form of birth control.
Yeah, shame on you. Right?
Yeah, that's a waste of resources. For the hospital?
That's an odd way of putting it. No, you put the hospital's resources for... No, the child that just... the child that was killed. Oh, yeah, the whole reason why we're having an abortion. Oh, my God.
Well, no, I'm saying, like, it gives a bad name to those who need abortion, who want to have
Forget that. You're killing a child because you're too lazy to slip on a condom.
It's not a child if it's a fetus. It's just a bunch of cells.
Okay, Cass, when do you define a child?
When a human being is like a human being when it's able to survive on its own.
Okay, I define it as when it has its own DNA.
I don't agree with that at all.
Because
so you
it's its own
think like
person.
a bunch of little cells are equal to like a infant? So if I were to drop one, which one would you save?
That's a very hard decision. And in fact,
drop the cells.
Yeah, I would go with the child, but there's.
So you're saying that the like
you're
the
getting so
petri dish of
now.
like random old cells is the same as a human like infant who's already alive.
Yeah, take that. The infant.
You want me to drop the infant?
No, take it.
Okay, and then drop the cells?
Yes. But that doesn't mean
so then that totally dissuades your argument.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does
because
you recognize that they're not equal. If you did not recognize that they're equal, then you're like, oh, they're the same.
We agree. No, we agree.
But you're saying that it's a human being when it's a bunch of cells, which is totally not true.
Let me explain myself. The child can still be the most important, but the cells are also incredibly important. You have the potential to create a child here.
Potential.
Yes. Why would you take that potential away?
Because you can create another baby. It's just a bunch of cells right now. And you're saying that those cells have more rights than the woman who is carrying those cells?
When do you think the child's DNA is created?
At conception.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean it's a human being at conception.
Is it your DNA?
But that doesn't mean it's a human being, Ryan. Can it survive on its own?
No, but that's irrelevant.
Okay, then it's dead.
It is not.
It's not a human being.
Holy crap.
You're arguing that they're the same thing.
No. Okay, so hold on. Maybe I could explain this in a different way.
I don't think you can.
So New York just passed the law that you could have an abortion up until birth, which I think is disgusting, quite frankly.
They passed that law?
Yes. That is a law. In New York, in the state of New York, you can have an abortion at the 3rd trimester. You could have it 30 hours before birth.
In life-threatening situations, that would be helpful.
Have a C-section.
Wouldn't it be less painful, less threatening to the mother's health as well, just to have the abortion?
You're getting the child out of you, right?
Yeah.
So why would you kill it first and then drag it out of you? Or you could have a C-section.
If it would die already.
No. Not in the case of a week before birth, let's say. You can't suddenly decide, oh, I don't want this child, and then kill it.
There would be reason if you had carried that child till a week before birth. There would be a reason that you'd have to automatically say, like, oh my gosh, I can't have this child. A person wouldn't go through nearly 9 months of pregnancy just to say at the last minute, oh, not feeling it.
Clearly, a lot of people felt that was because the state of New York passed the law.
They must be thinking in terms of life-threatening situations.
Which is 0.7% of all abortions performed.
I think that's false.
I will pull it up right now. The percentage of abortion.
I know, but what I have a real issue is that you're trying to say that there should be a legitimate reason for people to women to have an abortion. What do you say is a legitimate reason? Life-threatening stuff?
If it's life-threatening or you're raped.
But what if they don't want the baby? What if they're not prepared? What if their financial situation isn't?
Then have protected sex. If you're not ready to have a baby, why decide to have a baby?
If it's not at your fault.
What?
What if it's not at your fault? What if
then that's rape? That's non-consensual sex, Cass. That's rape.
But still, they should still have the choice, Ryan.
Yes, if you're raped. If you have non-consensual sex.
No matter the situation, they should still have the choice. You have no right to take that choice away from anyone.
Why?
You're not. What do you mean? Why not?
I think you're getting confused as to what I'm saying, Cass.
I think you're getting confused.
Whoa. I think it's perfectly fine to have an abortion if you were raped. Because then you're carrying a baby you had no choice over.
That's it.
No, also, if the mother is at risk of being physically impaired or death.
Okay, I agree, but also women should have the choice because they have the choice over their own body. They should be like, no, I don't want to carry this child. I can't right now. They should have the choice to have the abortion, Ryan.
I think you're maybe I'll pitch it to you at a different angle.
Please don't talk down to me.
No, I'm trying to explain my
You're
point.
just like, maybe I can explain to you in another way.
No, I don't think you
so
understand my
tiny
point.
little brain can
I
comprehend.
don't think. Whoa, okay. I'm not saying that.
It was implied.
No, it was not. I'm just trying to pitch my argument in a different way because I don't think you're getting it yet.
That was very...
That's not rude. I don't think you understand what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
That's
then
not rude.
Explain it better.
I will. If you're not in the position to have a child, then why the heck would you decide to have unprotected sex in the first place?
Some people don't decide to have it.
Then that's rape!
Ryan, all I'm saying is people should have the choice. That's it.
Cass.
It shouldn't depend on the circumstances. Yeah, I don't agree with some of the reasons, but I still believe that people should have the choice.
Cass, if parents aren't in the financial position to have a child, right? That's the situation. This couple in Chicago, wherever, isn't ready to have a child. Slip a condom on.
I don't really care about what you're trying to justify here. I'm just saying that people should have the choice, no matter the reason.
Sure, but I think it's disgusting.
Okay, that's your opinion, but people shouldn't tell people, no, you can't have an abortion because you weren't raped and it's not threatening your life, so have this child.
What if we say you can't kill the child?
What?
What if we pass a law that says you can't kill a child in the womb?
You mean have an abortion?
No. What if you can't kill the child?
What if you can't have an abortion?
No. All I'm saying is, what if you can't kill the child? It's illegal to kill people.
It's not a person yet. It can't survive on its own.
It doesn't have to.
That's literally the definition of a human being.
When you kill a pregnant mother, what does it count as? A double murder. A double murder.
That's based on the potential of a human being. Potential isn't the same as reality, Ryan.
If I shoot and kill a pregnant mother, I would never do that. But if I did do that, I would be charged for double murder. I killed the mother and I killed the child.
The baby is not a human being.
Then why does it count as a double murder?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
Well, it counts as a double murder.
Ryan.
So therefore,
it's not a human being. It is not a human being.
You killed a person.
The child literally isn't alive yet. It literally is not alive. It cannot support itself. It cannot eat. It cannot breathe.
It can.
It's inside a person, Ryan. It is not a human being. That's literally what a human being is.
I think we're just running around in circles. But what I'm saying is...
No, I just don't think you're hearing me.
I am hearing you. When you kill a pregnant mother, it counts as a double murder.
I don't care about that right now.
It is therefore implied that the mother is the one person and the second person is that child.
It's an unborn child. It's not alive. It's not alive.
Unborn child.
It's a thing. It's a fetus. It's not a human being yet.
A fetus is the development of a human being.
Yeah, development, not a human being.
I'm not going to be able to word my arguments then. Okay. I'm going to get so much hate for this. I'll agree with you that women should have the right to have an abortion.
Okay, then we're done.
However.
Why is there however?
If a law is proposed that would make it illegal to kill a child. Hold on, let me pitch my idea first.
It's not a child.
Well, we disagree there.
It's literally not a child.
Where do you define a child, Cass? In what stage of development?
A tiny little human being that's outside of the womb.
So what if it's directly before birth? Is that a child?
Directly before birth, still inside the mother, not a child yet. Hasn't breathed.
So therefore you think
hasn't lived on its own, hasn't eaten on its own.
It is breathing at that point.
Outside of the mother, Ryan. It's entirely dependent on the mother.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's self-dependent yet.
It is.
No, it's not. If it's inside the mother and it's like still has the umbilical cord and it still has all the I don't know stuff.
If you took a baby out of the womb a week before it was actually due for birth, it would still be able to survive perfectly fine.
Yeah, because it's outside of the mother now. It's outside the mother. It's breathing. It's eating.
It has the potential to breathe. I think after the second trimester.
Yeah, potential, Ryan. You keep on using that word. It's potential is not reality.
It can breathe after the second trimester. Let me put it that way.
It can. It doesn't.
If
it's inside the mother.
We're not going to get anywhere. Moving on. We're not going to agree, Cass.
No, we're clearly not.
And I don't get. Gosh. I think women should have the right to an abortion regardless. But I think.
Okay, that's the end of your sentence. Period. Bye.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
If a law is proposed that would make it illegal to kill children,
then it doesn't have anything to do with the situation because a child is not in question. It is not a child yet if it's still in the womb, Ryan. It is a fetus completely dependent on the mother.
Wow, I completely disagree with your statement there.
Really? Why? Which part of the statement?
Take a child 30 seconds before it's out of the womb.
Oh, seriously? Seriously you going to do this? These stupid hypotheticals?
No, it's a very simple argument, actually. You consider you consider a being.
As soon as it's out of the mother's womb and completely dependent on itself for survival, then yes, it is a child. It's an infant.
So you agree with the New York law?
No, I don't. What? The child wouldn't... Well, the abortion isn't the same as killing a child. I think you're arguing that an abortion is the same as killing a child, which I completely disagree with.
It is, though.
It is not.
It is, though.
We're coming back to the same thing of comparing the cells in the fetus to a literal child.
Forget the cells. I'm talking just a week before childbirth. You think that is not a child?
Not a child yet.
You think that the child inside of the mother's womb...
It is not alive yet.
It is. It has its own heart. It has its own brain.
But it's not living by itself yet.
It's living, though.
Inside of another person. It's completely dependent on the mother for what you think is life.
So, Cass, a kangaroo, a little kangaroo...
We're talking about humans right now, Ryan. I don't know anything about kangaroos and their whatever.
God, Cass. You think a child a week before childbirth is not living on its own?
It's inside the mother, so yeah.
It can live on its own, Cass.
It can. It doesn't.
So that doesn't make it a human, even though it has its own heart, has its own DNA, has its own brain.
You gotta be outside of the.
It is a fully developed child, Cass.
But it isn't alive yet.
Oh wow, I completely disagree.
And I completely disagree with you.
So you wow, okay. So you agree with the New York law?
I don't even know what the stupid New York law is.
The law that was passed recently was suggesting, or actually, mothers can have an abortion up until childbirth. Directly up until childbirth.
I don't know why a mother would do that unless there was...
But you think it's okay to have?
Under if there's life-threatening circumstances.
So if there's no life...
If the mother and the child were to both die, if the birth were to continue, then yes.
What if it's not? What if they're both going to be fine?
I just said what I think the circumstances should be. Or what my opinion is.
So you have a circumstantial opinion. Which is a hazy argument.
I don't know enough about this law. You're just telling me about this now. So I don't have enough information to form an opinion. But what I would assume is that that the mother would base that decision off of extreme circumstances. If she waited a week before the birth.
Passed. It was
again, I don't know anything. So you telling me right now?
No, it's actually quite a simple law. All that was passed was it is now legal to have an abortion whenever the child is inside of you. Whenever you want.
Let me see it.
It used to be a month. No, sorry, up until the first trimester or second trimester.
I have no idea. Look, overall, I just don't think you have the right to tell women the circumstances under which they can or cannot have an abortion. I just don't think that people have that right.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so New York's Reproductive Health Act was signed by Democratic Governor Andrew Cuomo on January 22nd, the anniversary of the landmark Roe v. Wade Supreme Court decision that guaranteed a woman's right to an abortion. It's a measure that abortion rights advocates in New York have long sought to pass but couldn't previously get through a Republican-controlled state Senate. The law confides a woman's right to access abortion in New York. Oh.
What?
Sorry, hold on. I'm just reading it. Okay, so the old law was you have to you can only have an abortion up until 24 weeks. Beyond that, it had to be life-threatening or that's it. No other excuse to have an abortion. That was the law. Now it's past that.
What's the date now?
I think up until childbirth.
You think or you know?
I'm still reading it. Hold on. Women may choose to have an abortion prior to 24 weeks. Pregnancies typically range from 38 to 42 weeks. After 24 weeks, such decisions must be made with a determination that there is an absence of fetal viability or that the procedure is necessary to protect the patient's life or health. That determination must be made by a healthcare practitioner, licensed, certified, or authorized under state law, acting within his or her own lawful scope of practice.
See, that's exactly what I said, under life-threatening conditions. And it has to go through the approval of all of these people. So women just can't walk in about to have birth and be like, you know what, I just want an abortion now. Which is what you were spinning it as.
No. Hold on. Patient is within 24 weeks. Hold on. The RHA permits abortions when, according to the medical professionals, reasonable and good faith professional judgment based on the facts of the patient's case. The patient is within 24 weeks from the commencement of pregnancy, or there is an absence of fetal viability, or the abortion is necessary to protect the patient's life or health.
So it's not 1 week till pregnancy.
No, as long as you can make the case that it will protect your life.
See?
Or health.
Isn't that exactly what I was arguing?
Well, you could spin that in any way. You could say it'll affect my mental health.
Threatening health, right? People can't say, oh, I'm going to have serious depression.
Yeah, you just need it.
There's going to be a bunch of medical professionals that need to sign off on it. So it's, again, people can't just waltz in there and be like, you know, I want an abortion now. I was right.
Well done. Shoot. CBS News. New York passes law allowing abortions at any time if mother's health is at risk.
Isn't that exactly what I said like 10 minutes ago when we were arguing about this?
Yeah, I disagree with it.
So if the mother were to die upon birth, you'd be like, nope, can't have the abortion. Have fun. Go plan the funeral.
I don't like the idea of killing a child a week before childbirth, because
if it were to be detrimental to both the mother and the child, then what's the point of the birth?
If the mother's going to die, then yeah.
You go ahead and say have the child.
No. If the mother's going to die, then have the abortion.
Then I don't understand your problem.
I don't know. It's just such a wacky position to be in.
What do you mean? How is it wacky? You're saving lives instead of killing people.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I don't like it. But
why don't you like it?
Because it affects such a small amount of people.
It still affects people,
Hardly any people are.
It still affects people.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah. So I don't understand why you have a problem with it.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on.
No. I think we're done. How long?
It's only been 30 minutes.
It's felt like an hour.
No.
Wait, let's just leave it at this.
No, we're not leaving it at this.
Bye.
We can discuss.
I don't really want to.
Guns?
I don't want to do that. Why don't we save it for another podcast?
We can't make a 30-minute episode. Cass, this is our returning episode. You can't make a 30-minute episode.
Yes, we can.
No!
People will be like, yay. No one's going to want to watch an hour-long YouTube video. 30 minutes is the perfect amount.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
If they don't want to watch the YouTube video, then they'll just listen to the podcast.
And they'll be like, yay, it's nice and short.
No, nobody has ever said that. Cass,
I'd say it.
our viewership has not been affected by longer episodes. The 4-hour podcast with Matt Bianco, it's more popular than half of our episodes.
I don't know why.
So that argument that you just submitted.
I'm tired mentally and I'm mad.
Do you want to talk about? Oh, I have a rant that I want to rant about. I was gonna save it for another episode, but we can talk about it right now if you want.
Why?
Vaping, drinking.
No, that has nothing to do with this. You were
I know, but you don't want to talk about anything polarizing.
No, let's talk about guns. Why not?
I think we should. Hold on, I'm just gonna wrap up the abortion argument. My mind has been changed a little bit.
How?
I misunderstood the New York law that was passed.
Yes,
I
you
will
did.
own up to that.
Yep.
I don't like that law had to be passed, but
Why don't you like it?
You just hit the camera.
Sorry.
I think I'm out of frame now.
You're fine. You're still in frame. It just wobbled a bit.
I saw it move.
Because I hit it.
Because that law existed beforehand. You were able to have an abortion past 24 weeks if you're
Okay, then I don't
if your health
understand
was-
why you have a problem with it.
But I don't know. The law has to.
I
be
think
more
you're
than
just trying to be
that.
oppositional.
No, I'm not.
Trying to be like, no.
I just said I misunderstood the law and my opinions have changed.
Mm-hmm.
I just said that. I still think if you're for the most part, with humans when they have a child, 98% of the time are fine. They're not at any
Is that a
harm.
real statistic?
Do you want me to pull it up?
Yep. I mean, you misinterpreted the New York thing, so I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Aha. CDC, this was it. I need a graph. I need something to look at. No. Never mind. This might work. Oh. Stats.
Where are these stats from?
All.org, AmericanLifeLeague.org. Building a culture of life. Abortion. Total number of abortions in the U.S. between 1973 and 2013, 56.5 million abortions. 219 abortions per 1,000 live births, according to the Center for Disease Control. Abortions per year, just over 1 million. Abortions per day, just under 3,000. Abortions per hour, 120. One abortion every 30 seconds. These stats include only surgical and medical abortion. Yeah, that's fine. There are chemical abortions, which inject a saline solution, a very high salt concentrated solution, into the uterus, which basically causes the cells in the child to explode and die.
It's not a child yet.
Or maybe they shrivel up. It's one of the two. Shrivel up or explode. I just need a reasoning. I found a really good. I wish I had kept it. I was researching this a lot. And I found a really good graph. It was like a pie chart, which it was like weren't in the position to have an abortion, gave a certain percentage of the pie. Rape victims or physical conditions, and there was other stuff too. But I didn't save it. I wish I had. Oh wait, was this it? Oh okay, yeah, this was it. Let me pull it up. So this was from 2016. Is this relevant? Oh, they give it state by state. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so oh wow. Okay, so that one was before in 2004, but it was a nationwide survey. I'll give you the results of it. How many were surveyed? 2,000 women were surveyed, and only 1,300 agreed to complete questionnaires and submitted them. And so, reasons for giving abortions, an AGI survey in 2004. So this was 15 years ago. Relatively recent. I would have liked to find the other one that I found. It was like 2014, but this works decently. So one of the first reason, rape or incest, both make up less than 0.5% of abortions. Mother has health problems. 4 out of 1,300 that's submitted a questionnaire.
4%.
No.
4 people?
That would be out of 100. That's like a fraction.
I know.
Of
What are you saying? 4 people out of 1,300, or are you saying 4%?
Oh, sorry. 4. Yeah, this is percent. 4%.
Mm-hmm.
So 0.5% were rape and incest. 4% were mother had health problems. 3% was possible fetal health problems. 25% were unready to have a child. Totally preventable. Just slip on a condom.
Yeah, but you're saying you're being very, very rude right now, and you're not being sympathetic to the situations of others. Like, you have no right to judge the reasons why women have abortions.
Simple logic, Cass. If you're not ready to
you don't have the right to judge, is all I'm saying.
I do, actually.
No, you actually don't. You're not a woman, you can never understand.
I can understand.
No, you really can't.
I can.
No,
I don't have to
you
experience
can't.
something to understand the situation.
No, that's actually false. You need to experience something. You can't just be like, oh, yeah.
School shootings. Have you experienced a school shooting?
No.
But are they horrible things that happen? That put a huge burden on people?
That's very different from this situation.
No, it's not.
You do not understand the experience of a woman going through an abortion. You don't, because you haven't had one. Just like I can't say, I don't know, I don't understand the experience of someone in a school shooting because I haven't been through that. But I can imagine that it's horrible.
You just said.
You can't understand it, though, Ryan.
You just said you can't have an opinion on someone's situation if you haven't been through it.
In this situation, men shouldn't be enforcing their opinions as fact in this situation, as they often do, because they aren't women and they don't experience these things as women.
I don't need to experience something to know how horrible a situation is.
What are you saying is horrible with this situation?
Having a child when you're not ready.
Yeah, that is horrible.
Yeah, we agree on that.
Yeah, you're agreeing with me that reason is justifiable. All reasons are justifiable.
It is not justifiable to have an abortion if you're not ready for it.
Whoa. So
because
you're saying I'm just going to have a child.
No. Because if you're not ready to have a child, don't have unprotected sex. It's so simple. It's much less expensive.
People should have the right to choose whether or not to have an abortion, no matter their reason.
Yep.
No matter their reason.
Yep.
These, I bet, are all justifiable reasons.
No.
Who are you to decide whether a reason is justifiable?
The life of a child is the reason.
Yes, but you're not a woman in that situation.
You are having an abortion because you were too lazy to slip on a condom.
That is no. Don't even dare say that. That is not true.
Unready
to have a child?
Can't afford a baby now, 23%. If you can't afford a baby, thousands of dollars, spend 6 cents to have a condom.
You're being so condescending right now, and I don't understand why. You have no right to judge these women.
I do.
No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't.
I do. If you're not ready to have a child,
these are all justifiable reasons. So you're just saying, oh, you should have the child and bring it into have a terrible quality of life because you can't afford to provide support and a home for the child? Because that is the reason why many of them clearly stated that they would have the abortion.
And the easy solution to that is just don't have unprotected sex. That's all I'm saying. That's the easiest solution. Spend 25
Sometimes
cents.
condoms break, Ryan. Sometimes birth control fails.
The odds of those two happening at the same time are so slim.
But many women are on birth control and many men don't wear a condom. It could be one or the other.
They should. If you're not ready to have a child, don't.
But I'm saying mistakes can be made, Ryan.
Yes.
So you're saying, oh, too bad you made a mistake. Still got to have the kid, even though you're not ready. And
25% of people,
I disagree with that entirely.
The stat?
With you.
Why?
Because you're saying no matter if you're just trying to blame it on the mother and the father, just like, oh, just don't have unprotected sex.
If you're not ready to have a child, the easiest solution.
And I'm saying that mistakes happen.
Hold on, I understand. Hold on, I think there is a mistake. Does anyone know? Hold on. Women's parents had problems. Can't afford a baby. No. It was. I'm trying to see if there was a stat where they weren't planning on it, but it happened anyway. Like they had unprotected or protected sex, and it's still. But my point, just to get this out of the way, a condom breaking happens, but it's so rare. Also, birth control not working.
To prove that.
It's just condoms can hold like 10 gallons of water, Cass.
All I'm saying is, right, you have no right to judge the reason why women have an abortion. I'm saying that
I can have an opinion on it. I can totally have an opinion.
But you shouldn't enforce it as fact, which is what you're trying to do.
No, that's not.
That's exactly what you said. You're saying these reasons are unjustifiable, and that the only reasons should be health and rape.
Yep, that's my opinion.
But you're stating it as fact, like women should not. That's exactly what you said.
This is under the guise of my opinion. I think women should not have an abortion unless you're physically endangered or you were raped. Other than that, just use a condom.
Okay, and I think you're wrong.
Or use birth control.
I think you're wrong.
If you're not ready, if you're not ready for a child, or you can't afford a baby now, which was 6,500 out of 1,300 people surveyed, gave that reasoning. They weren't ready to have a child, or they couldn't afford a baby now. If you're not ready, if you can't afford
those are completely valid reasons.
They are. But
yes, okay, now we agree.
It's a valid reason. It's a valid reason, but I think it's a disgusting reason.
Why would you say it's disgusting?
Because if you're not ready to have a child, if you can't afford a child, which is thousands of dollars, then instead of going through the painful process of child labor and then about halfway through having an abortion, which I think costs even more money than a condom, just buy a condom.
You're being very patronizing right now.
I'm not.
Yes, you really are.
I'm not, because the simple truth is, if you aren't ready to have a child, just have protected sex. I'm not asking them to
people
jump
do, and these mistakes
dollars.
happen. They don't go out and say, okay, I'm going to have unprotected sex.
Yeah.
But also, oh no, I can't have a child. They have unprotected sex with the full realization that they will have a child, or there's like a 99% chance that you will have a child.
So 6,500 of these 1,300 women, or sorry, I have a saying wrong. 650 people out of the 1,300 surveyed had protected sex, but the condom broke or the birth control failed.
Okay.
That's what you're saying.
What?
Is that what you're saying?
What are you saying?
I'm saying that 25% of women weren't ready to have a child, and 23% weren't able to afford a baby at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And your argument is the condom could have broke, birth control could have failed.
Yes.
But half of them gave that reasoning. They weren't ready or they couldn't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying,
it's a valid reason.
So you're saying a random sampling of 1,300 people.
We don't have to go through the process of why they chose to have.
But your argument is this stuff happens. Condoms break. Birth control fails. But
and sometimes they just choose that based on their situation, they cannot have the child. And you should respect that.
But you should be able to make that
that's the end. You should respect that.
But you should be able to make that reasoning before you decide to have sex. Usually it's like,
Ryan, stop.
What? Why?
Because you're trying to make these reasons sound like unjustifiable and not valid reasons when they actually are.
Look, I can't say, oh, you shouldn't have I'm not going to say you can't have an abortion. I'm not going to say that. I think women should have the right to have an abortion.
Okay, then we agree.
But
we'll just leave it at that.
But I think it's disgusting if you decide to have an abortion.
Stop saying that. Well, hold on. What? If you decide to have an abortion, you think it's disgusting?
No, you cut me off at a really poor timed point.
Continue then.
I think it's disgusting to have an abortion if you could have just prevented the child in the first place. That's all I'm saying. Just have just wear a condom.
Not many people are just like, oh, I'm gonna have unprotected sex, and then like, oh, use abortion as birth control. Not many people do that, and I personally don't agree with that.
Clearly, they did because half of
No, that's not what it says. That means
saying?
After they discovered they're pregnant, they realize that, oh, my situation isn't well enough to support a child.
But you're making
That's
it
what
sound,
they're
but you're
saying.
making it sound like they realized they were pregnant. Trying to get pregnant is so hard. Attempting to make a child is so hard. You have to be in the right stage of what's it called? You have to be in the right. Trying to have a child isn't something that you can just do. You have to go through multiple attempts.
Not always.
Yes.
No.
Yes. You're not going to get it on the first try. You're not going to become pregnant.
That's
pregnant
a
on the
huge
first try.
generalization.
You're not. I mean, you could, but odds are you're not. It usually takes multiple attempts. In fact, in biology last week, you probably saw on my Snapchat. I was in biology. I put on my story. There was a poll taken in my bio class. It was gender and sex are synonyms, and half said yes, half said no. That's not a biological. That's not a biological fact. That's an opinion. Half of my class, out of 180 kids, said sex is the same as gender. The other half said it wasn't. We were learning about the reproductive system. And my biology teacher, one of them is, or was a, what's the word? Some specialized doctor. He dealt with childbirth. I think he delivered over 6,000 babies, something like that. He worked in the delivery room for like 20 years. Really experienced. Delivered children almost every day. He said that the odds of you getting pregnant with a child on the first try are so slim. It usually takes at least 10. That's what he said. And that's a verifiable fact. You can probably find something online that verifies that. So all I'm saying is the odds of you conceiving a child, which are at first really hard, while also the condom breaks, birth control fails, and the fact that you are able to produce a child in the first place, the fact that all happens at once, and the reasoning is I'm not ready, is so slim. That's all I'm saying.
And all I'm saying is that you should respect all reasons.
So most of the people that were surveyed here had unprotected sex and later on decided that they weren't ready to have a child or they weren't in the position to afford a baby. That's all I'm saying. Statistically speaking, it's very hard to make the argument that all of them...
I'm not making that argument. I'm not making the argument like, oh, all of that resulted of mistakes. But what you're trying to say is that you're trying to say that the validity of the reason is completely like taken out when they make a decision later. Like, oh, I now realize I can't have this child.
But it's 9 months. That's not a long time.
Yes, it is.
Sorry, half that. 4.5 months. Whenever it's legal to have an abortion.
I don't know.
3 months? Guess. Someone verify that. 90 days, 100 days. It's a very short amount of time.
And in that span of time, if they make that decision...
But why couldn't have they made that decision before getting
because
before
maybe
conceiving?
Ryan, I don't know.
But that's my argument. Why didn't you make that?
I know, but it's a
beforehand?
dumb argument.
No, it's not.
It's just it's a reason, and they did it, and you should respect the fact.
It prevents, like you said, so many resources wasted, so many dead fetuses, and it saves a lot of the women's resources. You go through a lot through being pregnant, let's say. You know, you go through.
Yeah, but you shouldn't force a woman to have a child if they're not ready.
Not forcing her.
Well, that's what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that reason is not valid.
I'm just making the argument that you can't kill the child.
It's not a child yet, Ryan. It's not a human being.
But we disagree there.
And I can't believe that we do.
What?
It's literally not a child yet. We already had this argument. I'm not going through it again because I'm already mad enough.
But I don't see how you don't think it's a child. It has
because it's
DNA.
literally not. It's not a human being yet.
It has its own DNA, though. Yes.
Amoebas have their own DNA. Are you saying that they're the same as like other organisms?
They're living.
But it's a bunch of cells.
But it's still alive.
The cells aren't alive out in the mother. They're not alive outside of the mother. They're not alive on their own. So no.
Can I kill bacteria?
Yeah.
So it's living at one point.
Yeah.
So there you go.
You're comparing a fetus to bacteria?
No, you just brought up amoebas. And argued that they weren't alive
single-celled
and were just
organisms.
a bunch of cells.
All I'm saying is that the bunch of cells is not the same as a living child.
You're a bunch of cells.
You're trying to say that the
You're a bunch of cells.
Bunch of cells inside the mother who cannot survive on its own is the same as a human being child.
The argument
That's what you're saying right now. That is exactly what you're saying right now.
My argument isn't whether or not it can survive on its own. That's not my argument. I don't care about
No,
that.
your argument is after the exact same thing. That's essentially your argument.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah, you're saying, the child is the same.
I'm
You're
saying
saying this is a child.
No, I'm not. Yes.
And that's wrong. Because this is a child that is not a child.
I think that's still alive.
But
it's still a living thing.
It's living inside something else.
Those are...
Which doesn't necessarily mean that it's alive.
I have E. coli in my gut right now. That doesn't make it mine. That's E. coli. That's a separate organism.
Yes, but the mother is providing all the nutrients and literally supporting the child. Without the mother, this would not survive.
Guess what? When I eat, the E. coli in my gut...
You're comparing E. coli to a little fetus.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, I provide a bunch of nutrients for E. coli. They live off of that. Does that mean I have that? Does that mean it's mine?
That is not the same as a mother and the fetus.
It is.
No, it's literally not. Because the mother...
It's not yours.
The mother...
That's not yours.
The mother created it.
No, she did half of it.
She still had a hand in creating it, Ryan.
Those aren't your cells. They're not.
Part of them, yeah, they are.
Separate DNA. They're not yours.
But you helped create it.
Doesn't matter. I helped create the E. coli in my gut. In fact, I'm alive because of the E. coli in my gut. Doesn't mean it's mine.
Oh my God. Are you seriously saying that the E. coli is the same as the
I'm making an analogy here. That's not what I'm saying. I'm making an analogy to help you better understand what I'm trying to say.
Well, it's not working because I can't understand what you're trying to say here.
I'm trying to say that just because it's living inside of me doesn't mean
it's not a child.
Just because it's living inside of me.
No, but your main argument is that this is a child.
I'm saying it's alive and you shouldn't have the right to kill it. Because it's not yours. That's not yours. Those are separate cells from yours.
So you're saying that the rights of the rights of something that has not existed yet supersedes the rights of the woman. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying it supersedes those
You're
rights.
saying that you should not kill it.
Kill it. Oh, good. We agree. Kill it. You're killing something. That is...
Terminate it.
Same thing.
You're saying that it's the same thing as a human being child when it's not. And you're saying that the rights of this overcome the rights of the woman.
Nope.
That's exactly what you're saying.
They have equal rights.
They do not have equal rights.
You don't have the right to kill someone.
They do not have equal rights. The woman is an actual person. This is not.
That's its own... Those cells...
It's not a human being yet. It's not a person.
Let me finish
this is a human being. This is a person.
Please let me finish what I'm saying. Those are not your cells.
You helped create it.
Doesn't matter. Those aren't your cells. Correct? Do we agree? Those aren't your cells. Do we agree? Can we say yes or no? Are those your cells? Yes or no?
No.
Those aren't your cells. We agree.
Yes.
Good. So we agree that those aren't your cells. Regardless of whether or not you're providing nutrients to it, it's not yours.
You're providing all the nutrients for it. You're sustaining it.
Again, I am providing nutrients to the...
Hold
on! Let me finish my argument.
What time are we at?
Hold on, let me finish it. Let's finish this because this is a good point to stop. Almost a good point to stop. Hold on. Let me say my arguments. Please, let me get it out because you're not hearing the entire thing. The E. coli in my gut helps me survive. I'm not saying the baby does. I provide nutrients to it. It gives benefits for me. It lives inside of me. That doesn't mean it's mine. Now,
the baby doesn't give any benefits to the mother.
Doesn't have to.
But you just gave that the comparison, the example.
The clump of cells that you're arguing. those aren't yours. It has its own separate DNA. It's its own organism at this point. Regardless of whether or not you're providing nutrients to it, you don't have the right to determine what happens to it.
Yes, you do.
No.
You're literally the only thing that's keeping it alive.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter?
No.
Yes, it does.
They aren't yours.
You helped create it.
Yes, Cass, you did.
You are the reason it is
That doesn't
living.
make it yours. Just because you helped to create it doesn't mean it's yours.
It's inside you.
Yes, the E. coli is inside me, but it's not mine.
The baby is yours.
No, you just said no, it wasn't.
No.
You just said it's not your DNA, which means it's not yours.
All I'm trying to say is that you're trying to argue that we shouldn't kill these cells because it is alive. You're trying to say it has the potential for life, which is completely different from having actual life.
That's still alive, Cass.
It's not a human being.
It's still alive.
It's not a human being, which is what you're arguing. It's not a child.
It's still alive. And hold on, let me just debunk your whole argument of the clump of cells. Most women don't know that they're pregnant until a fetus is formed, which is after 4 to 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So in fact, I will guarantee nobody has an abortion on a clump of cells because it's almost impossible to have an abortion on a clump of cells unless it's a chemical abortion, which is injecting saline into yourself.
Isn't the fetus a clump of cells?
It's millions of cells, but yeah. Yeah, that's an organism at that point. That's alive. That's a live. It has its own heart at that point, Cass.
But without the mother, it would not survive.
It's making its own.
Without the mother, would not survive. So you're saying that this little thing that's not even alive,
its alive.
rights,
it is alive,
supersedes the rights of the woman.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they supersede.
But you're saying that you don't have the right to kill it.
I think you shouldn't have the right to kill it because it's alive. It has its own heart.
And I completely disagree with you.
It's making its own things inside of it.
Okay, we're clearly not going to come to a consensus.
Hold on. If I'm providing my child food to eat, do I have the right to kill it?
No, because it can sustain life on its own.
No, it can't.
Yes, it can.
It's living. A 9-month-old child can survive on its own?
Compared to a fetus?
No! A 9-month-old is going to die just as... Actually, probably a little long. It's going to survive a little longer, but it won't survive.
But the thing is, the fetus is inside the mother, Ryan.
The child.
The fetus literally cannot... If it's taken out of the mother, it will die. Instantly.
Yeah, and the 9-month-old child is going to die eventually.
But the mother doesn't directly sustain its life.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It gives its food.
The mother necessarily doesn't do that.
If you have a child...
Not necessarily.
If you have a child, then 9 months later, decide to just leave it to be its own thing, it's going to die. It's not going to survive.
If it doesn't get food, yeah.
Yes. That's the whole point.
But I don't understand why you're arguing that the fetus is the same as a child when it's not. Because the child is a human being and the fetus is not.
It is, though.
It's not.
A fetus is a human being.
It
has its own
not
DNA.
Yet.
No, it is.
Not yet. It has the potential to be a human being, but it's not a human being yet. No, it's not.
It's a child at that cast. A fetus at some point.
When it is born is a human being and therefore a child.
When?
When it is born is a human being, yes.
So you're saying when... I'm having trouble understanding. When it is born, it is a human being. That's your argument.
Yes.
I disagree.
I know.
All I'm saying is, hey, if you want to have an abortion as it currently stands, fine. The law says you can have an abortion. I'm fine with that. Well, actually, I'm not fine with that. But I agree with the law. I will uphold the law. You can have an abortion. I just don't think you should. But I can't stop you. That's my view.
think we're done here.
Well, this was fun. Yo, hold on. Do you want to try to not do intros and outros?
Yeah.
I know people will miss the groovy music.
Yeah, I doubt it.
But I know it was kind of a pain to get intros and outros recorded and then, try to stitch them together. And it was kind of a long thing. So we can just do it at the start and end of every episode. Oh, shoot, we forgot to plug our sponsor.
That's fine.
Well, I'll put it in between. I'm going to try to do it in between because then we get more sponsors. Yep.
Thanks for watching.
Yes, thank you for watching this really polarizing debate.
I'm so mad.
I know you're mad. But Cass, we might disagree, but at the end of the day, we still like each other, right? Oh.
Yeah, I love you.
Well, yeah. I can feel it.
I love you, Ryan.
See, we have different political views, but at the end of the day, we're not transcending it to the personal level. We understand that we have different points of view. I don't believe in God. She does. I think I think you can have an abortion only in certain circumstances, and she thinks you can have it all the time. But
I'm pro-choice.
I'm in the middle.
Should choose whether or not to have.
I'm in the middle.
How can
I'm not entirely pro-life, saying abortion should be illegal, period, because I think if a woman is going to die, then yeah, have an abortion. Yeah, I'm going to err on the side of the life that already exists. But I'm not saying you should have an abortion whenever, because you can prevent it at certain points.
Yeah,
in reality, 98% of Americans can prevent abortions by just having protected sex.
No, we're just going to end it here because I don't want to.
That's right. No, I'm just saying, we're just closing.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're home.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for listening, watching to this episode. Let us know how you like the video format, and let us know if you missed the old intros, outros, whatever.
I doubt it, but
yeah, you probably won't. It'll save time.
Mm.
You'll cut to the chase quicker. You'll miss out on the stupid Cassidy intros, but hey, it's fine.
It's I fine. Never did the intros. You were the one who always.
No, but I'm saying, like, I would catch you at the worst points, and then you'd be like,
"Oh yeah, those were dumb."
It's fine. What? Yes. All right.
Bye. Thanks for watching and listening.
Thank you for
We've
tuning
been
back
closing
in.
for 5 minutes.
For 2 minutes. Thank you for tuning back in. Hopefully the setup you like the setup. Hopefully you like the mugs.
My mug got increasingly further away from me. I don't know why.
She started punching it. Just on it, Ryan. You stupid idiot.
Yes.
She's trying to increase it. She's trying to get closer to my laptop, so when she knocks it over, it'll spill all over my laptop.
There's literally nothing in it right now, so.
It's my attempt to prove you to be a criminal, but whatever. I was just trying to make it seem like you were trying to sabotage my laptop.
Okay.
Try to destroy this recording.
Anywho, just gonna end it now.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for watching.
Yep.
That's it.
True.
And listening.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see you next week. We don't really know what we're gonna do next week because we haven't recorded it yet. So, leave us any feedback in the comments on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube, or leave us a review on iTunes if you're listening to it. Give us feedback on the format, how you like the setup, what we could improve, what we need to do differently. Do we need to make the camera angles different? Please be as constructive as possible because that helps us improve the show that you want to watch. Thanks for watching. Catch you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, wait, we should wave to the center camera? No, that's too corny. That's too corny. We just got to wave to our separate cameras. Goodbye. I said not the center camera. Just wave to the camera across from you. Bye.
Bye.
Hopefully none of you are too triggered at me because I know a lot of you are because we live in a liberal state and most of you are very liberal. But hey, that's fine. No personal judgments there.
Leave.
Don't hate me.
Okay.
Peace out.
Bye.